You're watching Sports Today. I'm Sushant Mehta. It was a day when nothing went right for India after they were bowled out for just 244 runs, handing Australia a handsome lead of 94 runs on day 3. India's problems compounded with injuries to Rishabh Pant and Ravindra Jadeja, who were both struck on their arms. It seems Jadeja may have dislocated his thumb on the bowling hand, so he might not play any further part in the ongoing test. He might not bowl, might not bat. And if that was not enough, later in the day, Team India lodged an official complaint before the match referee after Mohammad Siraj and Jasprit Bumrah were hurled racial abuses by the crowd at the SCG. We will come back to that story later, but first, here's how the day panned out for India on the field.
Pat Cummins provided Australia the much-needed opening as Ajinkya Rahane was dismissed for a 70-ball 22.
Ajinkya Rahane will jack back a fair bit, so this is the wicket Australia were waiting.
The pressure of dot balls forced Hanuma Vihari to steal a single, but Josh Hazlewood was simply too good to effect this run out.
Wow, what a piece of fielding by the big man. Not only did he half dive to pick the ball up, he then threw it before he hit the ground.
At 142 for 4, Rishabh Pant joined Cheteshwar Pujara and scored runs at a good pace. A blow to his left elbow rattled Pant and soon he was dismissed by Hazlewood, ending a half-century stand. Four deliveries later, Pujara's resistance was cut short by Cummins for a 176-ball 50.
Signal to Pat Cummins, let's get a man around the corner.
India was soon 216 for 9 with 2 dismissals coming in form of run-outs.
What is happening out there with Ashwin?
Oh, I think he's out.
Ravindra Jadeja, who got hit on his left thumb, did add some quick runs with Siraj before Indian innings folded up for 244.
Outside edge. They've already started their walk towards the pavilion, the
Australia took a healthy 94-run lead but lost Will Pucovski and David Warner cheaply. Marnus, Labuschagne and Steve Smith continued from where they left in the first innings as Australia took control. Australia finished day 3 at 103 for 2, 197 runs ahead of India.
That's through the gap.
Sports Bureau, India Today.
Well, so many expectations and just a major heartbreak for me and every Indian fan. I've been joined by the greatest of all time, Sunil Gavaskar, and consulting editor Boria Majumdar. Sunny bhai, first of all, a disappointing day for India, as I said. Has India already lost this match, or can we still expect a miracle from India?
I don't think the match is over as far as India is concerned, but the chances of winning are very slim. They can save the game though, because if they bat with determination, application, then they can certainly save the game. At the moment, with Australia nearly 200 runs ahead and only 2 wickets down, they will be maybe looking to score another 150 at least and set India a target of 350, 370 or thereabouts to try and win the game and to ask India to bat maybe 4 sessions or maybe 4.5 sessions to either win the game or to save the game. So India can save the game, and if Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill get them off to a fabulous start, then maybe around lunchtime or just after lunch on day 5, India can even think in terms of winning the game.
Yeah. Sunny bhai, are you happy with Pujara's batting approach? We know that, he plays slow and steady, but the pace at which he's scoring seems to be only adding pressure to the other batsmen and himself.
Pujara moves his feet, punches it away.
But I think that this is his game. This is the way he's been playing for the last 80-odd test matches. So there has been no real change in his game. So you can't suddenly put the blame for the others' failures on Cheteshwar Pujara. Having said that, there's always scope for improvement. Having said that, he can if he can just close the face of the bat when he's defending, sometimes when the ball is coming into him, or just open it slightly when the ball is coming around the off stump. he might be able to get the singles. And if he starts getting the singles, you don't have to hit the boundaries. But when you start rotating the strike, then the pressure on you is less. The scoreboard is also moving, and the bowler is not hitting 6 consecutive deliveries to bowl at a particular batsman. So that is something that after so many years of playing, I think he should be looking to do, because you don't have to play big shots. If that's not your game, you don't have to do that. But if you can just work with your defensive technique just a little bit here and there, then even he will, not feel the pressure.
Yes. Well, Boria, tell me this. I mean, we spoke about this yesterday, and you said that, yes, you were also not happy with Pujara's approach, but still, 151 dot balls. I know Sunny Bhai is saying that this is how he plays, but this has to change.
Yeah, absolutely. There are two things here, Sushant. Allow me a minute. When Sunny Bhai says what he says, and obviously all of us respect Sunny Bhai, but the point is, in all these years, or most of these years, he's got a certain Virat Kohli batting at number 4. So when that Virat Kohli bats at number 4, even if you block, he'll take pressure off you because he'll score. And he'll score at a fast clip. Here, a Virat Kohli is not there. You are the batting mainstay. So you change your game. That's why you are the main batting mainstay of this team. And don't build pressure on the others. Just think of Cheteshwar, Pujara and Marnus, Labuschagne. Look at the approach. Look at the intent of the two number 3s. You will have your answer. Cheteshwar Pujara, by showing lack of intent in this particular match, despite being a very good player, unfortunately has cost India the advantage. Make no mistake, there is no question of diplomacy here. This is the truth. The truth is, we would have wanted more intent from Pujara. By blocking 151 balls, he's doing no one any good. The fact is, runs are being not scored. And ultimately, in cricket, you need to score runs. So you've got to score. If you don't do that, Hanuma Vihari, 4 out of 38. Whose benefit was that for? And Hanuma Vihari putting pressure on himself, putting pressure on the team, handing the game to Australia.
Really, I mean, both sides in the first innings played almost 100 overs. They played 105 overs, we played 100 overs, and they got 338, we got just 244. Well, in what has come as a shocker, Indian pacers Mohammad Siraj and Jasprit Bumrah were abused racially by a section of the crowd at the Sydney Cricket Ground on 2 consecutive days. The Indian team management has lodged an official complaint before the match officials about Bumrah and Siraj being hurled racial abuses by the crowd at the SCG. At the end of the 3rd day's play, senior players led by captain Ajinkya Rahane and R. Ashwin spoke to umpires Paul Rifle and Paul Wilson and brought to their notice that 2 Indian players had been subjected to racial abuse.
And this is a great start for India.
Boria, tell me this now. Firstly, give me the latest on this because it comes as a major shocker. Remember, there was a huge hue and cry. Andrew Simon, same ground. Harbhajan Singh, the monkey gate incident, we remember. And now the Australian crowd is apparently doing the same to Indian players.
Yeah, firstly, we broke it on India Today with the details. He was called Siraj, for example. By the way, apparently it's continuing for 2 days. It was not simply today. And I have now spoken to multiple spectators who were there at the SCG. How do I know that? Because there are less number of spectators in such a big ground. If you are chanting something, it is reverberating. And we've seen that on TV, Sushant, with empty grounds, we can hear what is being told. So these chants were going from yesterday. So it's simply not today. Where the Briongle stand and the Randwick end, both ends, there are certain sections which were doing this. They were targeting Siraj. They called him wanker. They called his parentage. Then they abused him, calling big monkey. In terms of Bumrah, they broke his surname down and they were abusing him constantly. So this was a constant thing, not once, not twice, but for a lengthy period of time that continued. If you can hear, if the spectators can hear this, and apparently I spoke to 3 of them who were on a digital platform Sports Today, one of them was there, and if they can hear and they are saying it on record, what was the security doing? There is a lot of security for COVID and a lot of security there. If you go to Australia Cricket Ground, Sushant, it's written, no racial abuse, 0 tolerance. Take these guys out, prosecute them based on law. You cannot have the game violated based on racial abuse at this point in time.
Right.
It was shocking to me. Shocking.
Right. Sunny Bhai, very poor behavior from the crowd, as Boria said, especially when the world is fighting for equality. Siraj and Bumrah abused racially, and it comes at a time when the crowds are finally being let inside stadiums to witness cricket.
Oh, that is sad. That is really sad that something like this has happened. And hopefully the ICC will come into the matter of the match referee will take action. And it should not be too difficult considering to find out who the culprits are, considering that it's not a packed ground. So if they can tell from which direction the abuse came, then I'm sure the cameras would have caught some of the action, and you can actually get hold of the culprits. And I hope they do.
Right. Well, India's injury woes on the tour of Australia continue to mount, with Rishabh Pant and Ravindra Jadeja joining the list now. Both batsmen were struck on their left hands, following which they were taken for scans as India struggles to save the third test in Sydney.
In Sydney, India don't find themselves in an ideal situation. They seem battered and bruised, with Aussies firmly in control now. India's problems have compounded with a spate of injuries, leaving them in a precarious situation to put together a decent 11 in the next test.
It's got to be a worry for India.
On day 3, Rishabh Pant and Jadeja joined India's growing list of injured players. Pant was struck on his left elbow and needed immediate medical assistance. He did continue to bat thereafter, but not for too long. Jadeja's injuries seem to be even worse, with the left-hander taking a blow on the thumb of his bowling arm.
Just maybe hurt himself. We saw Rishabh Pant getting hit around the elbow.
Both went for scans at the end of India's first innings, and India's batting, which struggled in Sydney, could be in for more trouble.
Yeah, now that's a bit sore. Whether that's not...
Already, India have lost Shami, Umesh Yadav and KL Rahul to injuries in the series so far. Openers Mayank Agarwal and Prithvi Shaw are the only two available frontline batsmen on the bench, with Saha replacing Pant behind the stumps on day 3. Sports Bureau, India Today.
And this is a great start for India.
Sunny bhai, when it rains, it pours. Not only are we struggling to save this test match, but we do not have a proper batting lineup anymore. I mean, Pant and Jadeja, both injured.
They have got players in the reserve, so you're going to make do with that. Injuries are part of international sport. So that's something that you can't really avoid. And it can happen to the best of them, to the fittest of them. So that's a little bit unfortunate as far as India is concerned. But they have players in the reserves that can come in, and hopefully will do well.
Right, they have the reserves, but Sunny bhai, are you happy with India's batting approach? As I said earlier too, not creating enough opportunities to score runs, especially the middle order.
Well, I think the bowlers bowled well, really bowled well. So there wasn't too many loose deliveries on offer.
That's true.
So I don't see what they could have done apart from maybe looking to rotate the strike with singles into, like I said, boundary deliveries, boundary balls don't come too often in Test cricket. So you've got to be very alert to trying to rotate the strike, very alert to take the quick single. So India must look to do that in the next innings. But in the next innings, you don't want risky singles taken, which can result in more runouts. That's the only worry that I have, is that not a lot of Indians, apart from, say, Ravindra Jadeja, are very quick between the wickets. So maybe at this particular point of time, India should be looking to make sure that they come out of this test match without losing it, and then look to get those areas sorted out for the last test.
Right. Boria, yesterday we were so gung-ho. We were expecting a big lead today, maybe, 50, 60 runs at least. And then today, the world's just turned on us. I mean, firstly, a disappointing day in the field. Then those injuries. Do we still have a chance? Practically, do we have a chance even to draw this test match?
See, draw, why not? I mean, you've got to bat 4 sessions. If you say that we will not bat 4 sessions. Look, you and I are actually questioning Cheteshwar Pujara, right? Both of us are. Why doesn't he now show intent, like the way he did, play 50 overs and draw this game? Do it. That's what we will want him to do now. He is good at it, do it. Bat out the 4 sessions, bat out 40, 50 overs, bat out 200, 230, 40 balls, go save the match. Because that's what we now want him to do, having sacrificed intent in the first innings. That is his way to redemption. If you really ask me, winning chance 0, Saving chance, 25%. You've got to really bat out of your skills, and I really want the team to fight. The update, we said we broke again for Rishabh Pant and Ravindra Jadeja on India today. Rishabh Pant stands no fracture. He should be available for Brisbane, should be ready to bat on the 5th day, one more day of rest.
Okay.
Ravindra Jadeja, bad. The dislocation is also a fracture, so clearly out of the series. He will take time to recuperate. Can he bowl? No. Can he bat? Maybe not. So that is the update on Ravindra Jadeja.
That's sad because, as I said yesterday also, we were specifically talking about Ravindra Jadeja being that man with the golden arm. But apart from Cheteshwar Pujara, we spoke about his approach and his intent. But Sunny Bhai, 3 run-outs in 1 innings, that's criminal.
Difficult, very, very difficult. But that's what happens when you're not even getting the singles. When maiden over after maiden over is coming up, then you look for a single when it's not there. You get into that kind of a mindset. So that is something that the batsman will have to work out as to not get bogged down. Look at 1s and 2s. Like I said, in Test cricket, boundary balls don't come regularly. So you have to look at 1s. You have to look at pushing the ball in for 2s. So if you do that, then the pressure on you will not be there.
Now, Cheteshwar Pujara, who has been criticised for his slow batting, spoke at the end of the day's play. This is what the India's number 3 batsman had to say.
I think they bowled good line and length. We have to give, I think one should give credit to the way they bowled. It wasn't easy, but I think if you hang around a bit, you need to spend a lot of time. I think it looks like it's a flat pitch, but it's not. The ball, sometimes if you hit the right length, it's not easy to score runs. So you need to spend a lot of time at the crease and then wait for the loose ball to come. But it's tough, I think, especially losing Jadeja because we are 1 bowler short at the moment, and he got 4 wickets in the first innings. So yeah, we are definitely missing him in second innings. But I hope that he recovers soon and he should be fit for the next one.
Right, we heard Cheteshwar Pujara, but before I go back to Sunny Bhai and Boria, let's just hear what you have to give the Aussies their due, especially Pat Cummins. He was superb, that body line, that pace, and just lethal. So here's what Pat Cummins had to say.
Yeah, it's a little bit up and down, probably more, today's day 3, it's probably more like a day 4 or 5 wicket. You've just got to throw the ego out the door and just bowl straight. It's going to be a slow grind. We set some straight fields and just kind of hope the wicket, the odd ball jumps also. So, yeah, I thought we stuck to that plan really well and it, worked out for us. I think, the runs is probably going to be the most important. At least, a session and a half, 2 sessions tomorrow, and then have a good crack at them.
Boria, he was simply outstanding today, Pat Cummins. You have to give it to him. And, we spoke about this last time. You told me, why don't the Indians give the Australians some short stuff, give them one in the rib cage? That we haven't seen yet from the Indian side.
Yeah, you've got to do that. You've got to do that. I mean, when I tweeted this, people were like, why do you want to give it to the late order batsman? Was Mitchell Stark, blowing kisses at Navdeep Saini today? And that's fine. He
was laughing in his face. He was bowling bouncers and laughing in his face.
And why not? Why not? What's the problem? Now, if you have Jasprit Bumrah, Navdeep Saini, give it back to Pat Cummins, Josh Hazelwood and Mitch Stark. That's why you're there. This is not a game of, hunky-dory and, kisses and hugs. That's gone. That's outside the field. Inside the field, this is a contest between 2 top teams. So I've got no problems with the Australian approach. I think it's the right approach. I think, and I've tweeted this, Pat Cummins is not their best bowler today, best bowler all series, and perhaps the best in the world at the moment. With increased fitness, he can bowl longer spells, decisive, incisive, superb bowling. But that doesn't mean the Indians will not show intent. That's why they are good batsmen and great batsmen, because against good bowling, you want to score 33 dot balls. Criminal. When you've got a 70 for 0 start, Sushant, 70 for 0, There you capitalize. It means the ball is old, the shine is gone. You know the new ball is at 80, wickets will fall. So I will score at 3 or 4 and over and not at 1.5. 180 balls, 50 runs means you've scored at 1.5 and over. If Cheteshwar Pujara says he couldn't better that, I wouldn't believe him because he's certainly better.
He's definitely capable. And Sunny Bhai, you've been saying this is a good batting wicket. We've heard it's a flat track. Where did India falter today?
I think Australia bowled well, more than India faltering. I mean, look at the delivery that got Cheteshwar himself out. Yes, there were maybe a couple of run-outs which could have been avoided. Ajinkya Rahane also maybe looking to push the scoring along, got a ball that bounced a little bit more than anticipated. So credit to the bowler. So the way Pat Cummins in particular has bowled, he and the other Australian bowlers have not made it easy for the Indian batsmen. So I would like to give credit to the Australian bowlers.
Right. Sunny Bhai, what will be Australia's approach tomorrow? Score quick runs and put India in early and see if they have to dismiss 10 batsmen, or consider, considering the injuries to Pant and Jadeja, would they put India into bat early?
I don't think the injuries to Rishabh Pant and Ravindra Jadeja will be a factor in what the Australians decide will be a good score to challenge the Indians. What they'll be looking to do is concentrate on their own team, and with 2 wickets down, 2 batsmen who are looking set, who batted well in the first innings, they'll probably look to bat till maybe around tea or maybe just before tea and get maybe another 150 runs. If they get 150, 100 or even 200 runs by tea time, then that gives them a lead of almost 400 runs.
Yeah.
And then they get 4 sessions to try and bowl the Indians out. So I don't think the injuries to Rishabh Pant and Jadeja will come into their calculation as far as setting a target for India is concerned.
Right. Well, thank you, Sunny Bhai. Thank you, Boria Majumdar, for joining us. Living on a prayer, Indian fans hoping for a miracle tomorrow. Let's see if the Indian side can bounce back. For the moment, that's all on Sports Today. Thanks for watching and goodbye.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.